It's a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery. It's a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery. We're back, we're back, we're back. And so's he. Da 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 da. My Little Pony Mystery number 15. Who is the Black Pony of Darkness? Tape 4, Side A. At almost 7 p.m. on Wednesday the 20th of September 2006, helper number 16 joined the other helpers and black ponies at the top of the rainbow. He'd been a little later than the rest of them, since he had been talking to a man who lived 2 doors away from him, who was selling his house. But now James, helper number 16, had managed to get his friend, helper number 12's son, to look after his own 2 sons, while he went up to Ponyland to join the rest of the humans and black ponies who liked to live in the horrible place known as Nightmareland. Well, I think that we should go over to Ponyland, and we will stop those awful traitors who pretended to be black pony helpers but then turned against us. We will stop all 4 of them, and we will recapture those 4 black ponies. I just wonder where those 4 black ponies have got to, the Black Pony of Darkness said. After all, I never saw them leave. Of course, the helpers did not tell him that the 4 black ponies were now MLPs, because the Black Pony of Darkness did not know that his friends had actually been real My Little Ponies who had been painted to look like himself. Well, I think that we should go to Ponyland tomorrow as well, Mary Clockton said. We will go to Dream Valley, because I bet that's where they're gathering, and no doubt they're gathering together more of their secret weapon. She glanced round at the other helpers, who all knew that Mary was talking about the water. I bet that's where they gather it, and if that is the case, then we must stop them. Yes, we must stop them, the Black Pony of Lightning said. We must not let them come back and make more of you helpers turn against us. We're never going to turn against you. We're not traitors, Eleanor Glastonbury said to her black pony friend. Good, good, helper number 23 added, looking at her friend. Her friend was not actually a black pony helper, but somebody she had brought up as a substitute for the 4 helpers who had turned against them. Nobody even knew this new helper's name, but so far she had not said much. She just stood next to helper number 23, wearing a white mask across her face. Those helpers should not be playing, the new friend said. They should not be playing around like that. They should not say that they are helpers, otherwise they should stay helpers. There is no better place to be than in the helpers gang. Everybody nodded at this, and soon all of the black ponies and their helpers were discussing their plans for attacking the MLPs on Friday the 22nd of September. A lot of the remaining helpers were busy the following day, and so Friday was the day that they had decided to start the war on. Desiree, Jackie, Sparkle and Splodge arrived in Dream Valley. They found that all of the MLPs were preparing for another attack on Nightmareland, and almost all of the carts were now full of paint cans full of water. Has anything happened since I left Ponyland before? Desiree asked. Nothing much really, Dodge said. The black ponies and their helpers have not been back, and we have not been back to Nightmare Land. We wanted to know what was going on. All that has been going on is that we have had to feed all of these poor little ponies. Well, they're not poor little ponies anymore, I guess. There were the custom ponies, where we were stored. They've all been frolicking around Paradise Land, and they've been eating more than you could ever believe. I thought they were gonna steal my cucumber cake. Actually, Dodge, this is like your cucumber cake, you know. It's actually my cucumber cake that I've been like sharing with you very kindly, you know. That is like right, you know, Dodge, Twinkle's older sister, Kathy, said. It is all like our cucumber, and you know, we've been sharing it with you because you're not like back in Paradise Land. Is she right? Yes, I know. Well, is she or isn't she? Twinkle's younger brother, Poncho, added. Yes, I guess you are right. You don't think there'd be any chance that you'd share some of the cucumber with me? Splodge asked Twinkle hopefully. If I share with any more like guinea pigs, I think there'll be none, you know, left. After all, this is for me, unlike the rest of my family, you know. It seems like all our cucumber cakes are disappearing. You didn't have to give any to him, Twinkle, Sparkle said. He's always greedy. There's no point giving him any cucumber cakes, otherwise he will simply ask for more. I wouldn't mind a celery tart, though, Sparkle added, hopefully. Oh, that's alright, you know, Sparkle. I'll just go and, get Trilly to give you one. Well, that isn't fair. Why should Sparkle have celery tarts and me not have cucumber cakes? Because I've already eaten all of the cucumber cakes, my dearest brother, Dodge said. And the little black-nosed guinea pig skipped off after Twinkle, hoping that Truly would give him something at the same time. I'd completely forgotten about all of you little ponies, Desiree said, looking down at the once plastic custom ponies, who had now been restored and were happily frolicking around the meadow outside Paradise Estate. You can come down to the My Little Pony Rescue Home now. Ah, great! She's offering us a place at the rescue home? A little bride pony who had once been painted with ugly black stripes and had green strands threaded into her hair, with a huge purple splodge on her right front shoulder, which her previous owner had said was a butterfly, said. Of course, Desiree replied. You're all invited back. A little lemon drop, who had once been called Nightshade, having been painted in an ugly shade of purple and had black, burgundy and white hair threaded into her head, skipped over to the girl who was standing outside Paradise Estate's entrance. Well, that's just great. I didn't think that anybody would ever invite us to the rescue home. We used to sit on those shelves, and although we couldn't speak because we were covered in that horrible sticky goo, we used to suffer in silence and hope that one day we would get a special invite to the rescue home. We always thought that we wouldn't. But here we are, all being invited back to the legendary rescue home. I can't wait to see it, a little Truly said. Her eyes closed as she imagined this magical place where ponies ran free without fear of being customized. She had once been called Somewhere Nowhere and painted in an ugly shade of purple. Now she had been fully restored, even with a lovely soft white fur coat, the way she would have been back in 1986, when she had been born. The four helpers were also standing on the other side of Paradise Estate, and they wandered over as Twinkle and Dodge walked back with Truly, a slice of cucumber cake in each of their mouths. Sparkle and Splodge watched as they were also presented with slices of cucumber cake and celery tarts. As the four helpers wandered over, Desiree saw that there was somebody else with them. A rather sickly-looking woman who had horrible glaring blue eyes, which reminded Desiree of helper number 12 and helper number 13. Her blonde hair was in horrible tight ringlets, and she wore a white t-shirt with a My Little Pony rainbow and a picture of Truly on the front, obviously trying to impress the MLPs. In her hand she clasped a carrier bag, and Desiree could see that it was full of My Little Ponies. The plastic variety, that is. Now this is Sarah, Dodge said, his mouth still full of cucumber cake. Somebody ought to introduce you. The little black-nosed guinea pig rolled his eyes and looked away from this strange-looking woman who was now handing Desiree the bag full of MLPs. She explained that she had found them in her local thrift store, and Desiree realised that this must be helper number 20's cousin, who had been mentioned to her before. In exchange for the bag of My Little Ponies, which Sarah handed Desiree, she wanted to hand her the bag full of fake ponies, which she had found at the car boot sale. But Sarah insisted that she kept them for the rescue home too, since all of these ponies were the custom-made ponies who Desiree had been standing in Nightmare Castle with, though she hadn't known it, many, many times before. They deserved to go to the original rescue home, and not to the latest rescue home opened by a helper's cousin, although she had not known that she had anything to do with Black Pony's helpers, or indeed that there were any such things as Black Pony's helpers. She had not known about Black Ponies either until a few days before, when she had been asked to look out for ponies. Desiree looked in the bag and saw a rather sorry-looking lemon drop. She had brown spots all over her, the kind that were known as pony cancer, or fungus to those who lived at the rescue home. But the little pony still looked very happy to be going back to the rescue home. It was then that Desiree realised that all the ponies had been brought to life. "How did you do that?" Desiree asked. "You haven't got a magic box, have you?" "Here in Ponyland you don't need a magic box, Desiree. You can use it to stop the ponies being living creatures," Truly said. "But you can't use it to bring them to life, because they're already alive as soon as they're brought to Ponyland." "Well, hadn't we better get them out of the carrier bag then?" Desiree said. "Well, that's what I was really thinking of doing," Pinkie Pie said. The woman who had brought the ponies up the rainbow smiled at the little pink pony who had just spoken. Desiree tipped out the bag on the grass gently, and all of the ponies began to frolic around the meadows with the once customized ponies, the ones who had now been restored. Helper number 31 also added 3 ponies, 3 who she had found at her local garage sale, where helpers numbers 29 and 30 had been selling them. These were a quite good condition Spring Song with just 2 small red felt tip marks on her right front leg, a brand new Boogie Woogie G3 who had been taken straight from her packet and still had her back card with her, and an even more beautiful Princess Royal Pink who still had her original cloak and brush with her, and was in lovely condition, but had still sadly been known as custom bait, and if the MLPs had not got into Nightmare Castle so soon, would have been customised like all of the ponies frolicking round the meadows. Sweetberry and Sunsparkle, 2 other ponies who the cousin of helper number 20 had found at her local thrift store, came and looked up at Desiree wondering when they would return to their new home, the My Little Pony rescue home which they had heard so much about. Desiree smiled back at them and told them that they would go back to the legendary home down on Earth very shortly, and so the two ponies began to skip around the meadows with their new friends, all of the ponies who had been saved from before they had been customized, and those who had been saved after they had been, having had all the sticky goo scraped off of them to reveal their true beautiful selves beneath. Everybody was happy for the moment, even though they knew that a war between themselves and the black ponies and their helpers was looming. At 8:30 p.m. on Friday, the 22nd of September 2006, the My Little Ponies, who had all gathered in Dream Valley, began to make their way back towards Nightmare Land. They had refilled all of the paint cans with water and were dragging along the carts behind them as before. When they reached Nightmare Land, they hoped that it would be possible to defeat all of the remaining black ponies and helpers. They hoped that CLM was right when he said that the day they had waited for, the day when all of their nightmares would wash away, would come to them very shortly. At about the same time on Friday night, the black ponies and their helpers were also packing their bags. They were heading towards Dream Valley, where they believed the MLPs were still gathered. They were packing their bags with far more lethal weapons than water, though.
John? John?
The Black Pony of Hatred called out to his helper, but there was no reply. The little black pony trotted over to another black pony, one of his friends.
Have you seen John anywhere?
The Black Pony of Hatred asked.
Actually, no, I haven't.
The Black Pony of Violence replied.
I've been looking for my helper, actually, but I don't know where he's gone.
The Black Pony of Darkness must have seen the puzzled looks on their faces, and so he galloped over to them. Are you looking for helper number 5 and helper number 47? The Black Pony of Darkness asked.
Yes, as a matter of fact we are. Where is he?
The Black Pony of Violence replied. I'm sorry to tell you that both of them are not able to come and fight with us, because unfortunately they're both in hospital under different circumstances. I'm sure we'll get on without them, though. You two will just have to try harder, the Black Pony of Darkness said, and wandered back over to Mary.
What does he mean by that?
The Black Pony of Hatred asked.
I really don't know,
the Black Pony of Violence replied.
I don't think that 47's going to be with us tonight, though. And I don't think that helper number 5 is going to be joining me either,
the Black Pony of Hatred answered. May I have your attention, everybody? Mary Cluckton asked. All of the black ponies spun round and saw her standing by the Black Pony of Darkness. We are going to make our way to Dream Valley now. We have brought plenty of supplies, and so very shortly we will hopefully defeat all of the My Little Ponies and those people from Earth, and all of the ponies from the My Little Pony Rescue Home will be ours. And Ponyland, of course, the Black Pony of Darkness added. Yes, Darkness, that's exactly right. A perfect place to keep all of our creations, both big and small. Perfect plan, Mary, the Black Pony of Darkness answered. And the Black Ponies and their helpers started their long journey to Dream Valley. Late on Monday night, the ponies decided to rest at the bottom of Rainbow Mountain before they reached the Jewel Desert. Tomorrow they will walk across the Jewel Desert all the way to Nightmare Land. Dodge yawned as he laid down.
I just hope that we will be able to defeat the Black Ponies and their helpers. Do you think that we run enough water? I wouldn't like to say, Dodge, but I'm hoping that we, have, If we haven't, we could be in, big trouble.
I'm sure we have brought enough water, Desiree said to them, trying to reassure the two guinea pigs. After all, we've brought more water than we did last time, and that water managed to wash the paint off of all of those poor little custom ponies. And there were hundreds of those.
Yes, but we will need more water for one of these full-sized black ponies, rather than the little plastic ones.
Don't worry about it, Dodge. I'm sure that everything will be just fine, Sparkle said.
I'm sure that that's right too, Dodge,
Splodge said.
I just hope that I don't get hurt, 'cause I don't like danger,
Well, I'm afraid to say, Desiree looked sadly at the little guinea pig, that danger is the one thing that we will find plenty of in the next couple of days. It was 8:15 p.m. on Tuesday, the 26th of September 2006, when the ponies who were making their way through the hot Jewel Desert, where the sun never set, when they saw some ponies walking towards them. At first, they thought that it was a hallucination, but then they realized that unfortunately it was not. The ponies ahead of them were very real and very dark in colour, and standing behind these ponies was a large group of humans who the MLPs recognised as the Black Ponies' helpers. Well, what have we here? The Black Pony of Darkness said, sarcastically looking at the little ponies. I suppose you were making your way to Nightmare Land, were you? Well, I have news for you, little ponies. You're never going to make it, because we found you first. We don't need to get to Nightmare Land to do what we want to do, Desiree said, turning to her pony friends. And one by one, the MLPs who had been pulling the carts took a few steps back so that they were alongside their carts. Then, in unison, they turned to the carts, picked up a paint can, pulled the lid off, and held them out. We're ready, Black Ponies, Desiree said, and we don't care how long it takes. You don't want to go near water, but in the long run, we're doing you a favour, though you may not know it yet. She's quite correct, a voice said from above. If they do what they want to do, then soon will be the day when all of your nightmares wash away. The Black Ponies looked to the sky, then looked back at their helpers in a confused way. "Do not listen to them, Darkness. Do not listen to them." Although Mary was starting to look a little flustered. "And ponies and girl from Earth, please do not go near my pony my pony friend. If you come near him, and the other black ponies too, then you are in big trouble." "And what do you think you're gonna do to us, Mary?" Truly asked. "You're powerless without your black pony slaves." "My black pony friend. I never said slave." Maybe you didn't, but that's what you wanted to say. "My owner is quite correct, Mary. Or whatever your horrible name may be," Dodge said, remembering a time long ago when the Black Pony of Darkness had referred to him in this way. "Just because you don't like us, don't think that we're stupid. I heard you, and so did my owner, and so did every other little creature here. So don't think that you can lie to us." For once, Mary took a step back, surprised at how the little guinea pig had just spoken to her. They didn't seem to see any fear in the black ponies and their helpers anymore. "Well, don't just stand there, Darkness. Do something." The black pony stood for a moment, unsure what to do. His helper was telling him that the right thing to do was to attack the ponies who he had been fighting for so long. But those creatures were no longer frightened of him, and were telling him that they wanted to save him from something. He waited for a moment longer, and then realized that he must follow his helper's orders. Two lightning bolts shot from his eyes and landed just inches away from the front row of ponies. The MLPs reared in terror as they had done in Nightmare Castle, and a few of the ponies who had been by the front line of carts dashed behind, hoping that they could hide from future lightning attacks. Soon the other black ponies all stepped forward and also began shooting lightning bolts from their eyes.
"Somebody's gotta do something,"
Lofty said.
"We can't just stand here and let them do this to us."
The yellow Pegasus bravely stood up, picked up one of the paint cans, and splashed the water towards the black ponies. The other MLPs began to do the same thing, and slowly, just slowly, they began to see some changes. By the time the black ponies retreated, they had been looking very tired, rather nicer looking than when the battle had started, and just a few spots of colour were showing through their black coat. Not enough for any of the MLPs to see what was beneath, but considering that the helpers had forgotten to bring one thing with them, black paint, the ponies were making progress, however slow that progress may be. And so soon, the day would come when all of their nightmares would wash away. The most magical ponies who lived in Ponyland, Ponyville, Butterfly Island and Unicornia worked their magic on the remaining paint cans full of water and multiplied the supply of water until the ponies had as much water as they had had the previous day. The ponies waited until it was properly dark, then waited a little longer. At almost 8:30 that night, they started to move across the Jewel Desert in the direction which the black ponies and their helpers had headed in. Hopefully they would find the black ponies and their helpers soon and be able to defeat them all. Desiree had a small handheld television with her, and she and the guinea pigs, who were riding in one of the carts, were watching the news.
The BBC's Top Gear programme.
The 36-year-old was driving a jet-powered dragster capable of reaching 300 miles an hour when it left the track and flipped over. While Richard's being treated at Leeds General Infirmary. Breakfast Graham Satchell is there. Graham, any word on his condition?
Yes, Kate, we have just had a very brief update from the hospital here. A spokesman has told me that they have seen some improvement overnight in Richard Hammond's condition, but that he remains in a serious but stable condition, and at the request of the family, they don't want to release any more information at this time. But I do understand that Richard Hammond's wife is at his bedside this morning.
Richard Hammond? Desiree quickly turned off the TV, which she had realised was broadcasting this morning's news. Obviously, the Earth television signals did not pick up rather slowly in Ponyland. Isn't he one of the Black Pony's helpers?
Yes, I think you're right there.
Dodge opened up his owner's little notebook, which was also being carried in this cart.
Ah, here we are. He is helper number 47, and his black pony is the Black Pony of Violence.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about one of them, then, Desiree said. The MLPs reached the hill which they had seen the Black Ponies and their helpers climb over the previous day. They knew, or rather they thought, that it would be on the other side of this that the Black Ponies and their helpers would be hiding now. But that's why it came as a surprise to them when they peered over the top of the hill and saw just two black ponies and their helpers standing there. What came as even more of a surprise was that one of the black ponies was the Black Pony of Violence, and his helper was standing perfectly well next to him, obviously not in hospital at all.
Did you really think you'd get away with it?
The Black Pony of Violence said as the MLPs came towards them.
Did you really think that all of the black ponies and helpers would be waiting here for you? No, we're being kind to you. Which is why there's only 4 of us here.
The Black Pony of Evil Glee, who was standing next to the Black Pony of Violence, said,
We know that you're much weaker than us, so it seemed only fair that there would be less of us here. Much like weaker, you say, you know? Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that. I'll have you know that without, like, buckets of...
Be quiet, Twinkle. Take them by surprise, Desiree whispered in the little ginger guinea pig's ear.
Well, you know, that's really quite considerate of you. But where did the other black ponies and their helpers go?
Pinkie Pie asked.
Actually, they went all over Ponyland,
the Black Pony of Violence said.
They're all either walking around in pairs like us with their helpers, or they're walking around on their own with their helpers, ready to jump out on any unsuspecting little ponies who might trespass onto their property, which, we'll have you know, is all of Ponyland,
the Black Pony of Evil Glee said. Since when has all Ponyland belonged to you? Lancer asked.
Since we took it over, of course,
the Black Pony of Violence said. His helper nodded and informed them that if Majesty would not hand it over to the Black Ponies and their helpers willingly, they would take it by force, and in fact Ponyland now belonged to them. I'm afraid that is not the case, Majesty said. Ponyland is still in the ponies' names, not in your names, so however much you bully us, it still belongs to us, until every little pony has been captured. And since we're all standing perfectly safe here, I know that that has not happened. That is perfectly correct, Sparkle added.
Yep, absolutely right. Ponyland belongs to the ponies. Hooray! Well, even if it does, it will soon belong to us.
The Black Pony. Oh yeah. Helper number 48 agreed. She began to explain that she had not realised that Ponyland now belonged to the Black Ponies and their helpers, but the Black Pony of Evil Glee quickly trod on her foot to stop her going any further. Unfortunately, 48 did not listen and continued her story, being a rather stupid helper. So the Black Pony of Evil Glee had to try a different tactic after her helper had finished her story.
That is a really funny joke, Melanie.
The Black Pony of Evil Glee kicked her leg out at the Black Pony of Violence, who also began to laugh.
Yes, that is a very funny joke.
Helper number 48 leaned down and whispered something in Evil Glee's ear. The ponies could not hear what, but they did hear the Black Pony of Evil Glee reply.
Of course we haven't really taken over Ponyland, but we've got to pretend, haven't we? That really was a funny joke.
The Black Pony of Evil Glee continued louder this time, so not minding if the ponies heard this remark.
And isn't it great now we own Ponyland? Oh yeah.
Her helper replied. Have you finished talking for now? The Plush Blossom, who Desiree had saved from helper number 7, asked. Because I would like to say a few words to my friends.
Well, you can have a few minutes to say a few words to your friends, I suppose, before we lock you up,
the Black Pony of Violence said. Thank you, but I only need a few seconds, not a few minutes. The two Black Ponies and their helpers began to discuss the nasty way in which they would capture the MLPs. Of course, they gathered into a tight circle to discuss it so that the ponies could not hear them. While they were doing this, though, they were not taking much notice of the MLPs themselves. And so, a group of ponies gathered around 2 separate carts, and each pony picked up a can of water. They positioned themselves behind the 2 black ponies, holding the paint cans tightly in their hooves. Desiree and Jackie also stood holding a paint can, 1 human behind each black pony. Barnacle and Wigwam stood behind helper number 47, while Ice Crystal and Fireball stood behind helper number 48, ready with something strange hidden in their hooves where nobody could see it. Mind you, the humans and black ponies were not looking at the MLPs at all. They were too engrossed in their nasty plans, which is why they didn't see the ponies and humans until it was too late. They didn't even know they were there until the black ponies felt the splashes of water all over them, and the 2 humans felt themselves being handcuffed and led back to the 2 now empty carts where the paint cans had stood. We're arresting you, firstly, on false claims of owning Ponyland, and secondly, on cruelty to ponies. Helper number 47 insisted that he had only ever touched plastic ponies, but everyone knew this was a lie, due to the Black Pony of Violence. Or should that be the little pony known as Rusty, who was standing just behind him. And of course, no My Little Pony is simply plastic, since all of them can be brought to life, as Desiree had proved a few weeks earlier, when she had washed the paint from all of the little ponies, who, until they had been locked in the magical box, had been screaming in pain until they were restored. In the Black Pony of Evil Glee's place stood Misty, Rusty's older sister. Of course, they were both Bonbon's older siblings, who had disappeared long ago. Now they knew that helper number 47 and helper number 48 had pony-napped the two MLPs and turned them into the two black ponies. Bonbon asked, running over to her long-lost brother.
Bonbon, what's going on?
Rusty asked, seemingly not remembering any of what had happened during the past 4 years. Bonbon cried, too excited to answer her brother, and jumping up and down on the spot.
Hey, are you okay?
Misty looked at her younger sister in confusion, not really understanding why the little yellow pony was so excited to see her. The two ponies asked in unison why they were in the middle of the Jewel Desert, and the MLPs had to explain to them. Of course, Misty and Rusty had never met the little guinea pigs and humans who were surrounding them, and all of them had to be introduced to each other. This took quite a while, and 47 and 48 were getting rather impatient, but since they were strapped down to the carts, they could not escape. When the ponies had finished their story, Misty and Rusty looked even more amazed. Misty asked, looking at the ponies. She asked them if they were joking, but the looks on their faces told Misty that they were not lying to her. Bonbon asked if anything was coming back to the two ponies, and if they knew where the other missing members of her family had gone. The ponies just looked at her, puzzled.
Amber, Twink!
Bonbon tried to remind them. The ponies remembered their little siblings, of course, but they had not even known that the ponies had gone missing, let alone where they were. But Bonbon realized now that somewhere amongst those black ponies, the black ponies, which they were now going to have a lot of trouble tracking down, she would find the rest of her family, and a lot of the other MLPs would find their missing relatives as well. Over the next few days, Mary Cluckton and the Black Pony of Darkness grew increasingly worried. They had not heard from their Black Pony and helper friends ever since they had split up after the last battle, and so they were beginning to wonder where their friends were. The MLPs and their friends were not worried though, for reasons which will soon become clear. Following the battle, the ponies had made their way back to Dream Valley. Once they had arrived back at Paradise Estate, Lofty had noticed a strange pink light travelling towards her. She realised that it must be somebody visiting from Rainbow Land, and so she had called out to the pink light to receive the following reply. "Hello there, Lofty. It's Champion, brother of Winner, the lop-eared rabbit who you should have owned, had Desiree not bought Clover."
Well, hello there, Champy. What are you going to tell us?
Lofty had asked. "I wanted to show you this." The little rabbit, who had now appeared from inside the pink cloud, presented her with a small silver rabbit-shaped brooch. Another rabbit appeared from the cloud. This time it was Clover. Desiree came running out of Paradise Estate when she saw her Dutch rabbit looking down at her from the sky. "Hello there, Desiree. I'm glad to see that you're still all right. I just realised that when I went to Rainbow Land I took this brooch with me, and Sooty, Splodge and Dodge's ancestor, says that I should have left it with you. Apparently it will help you in some way. And once you have defeated the Black Ponies, which I hoped you would have done by now, but apparently you haven't, it will also help you to invite some important guests to the party which you have afterwards to celebrate." It's the brooch that you won when you raced champion down on Earth, when you went away on that adventure, Desiree exclaimed. Exactly, Clover replied. I can't tell you any more because I don't know myself, but it's supposed to help you in some way. To find out how the brooch could help the MLPs, please turn over to Side B of number 15 in the My Little Pony Mystery Series, Who is the Black Pony of Darkness, Tape 4.